Hi, this is Lana Lisa Williams one more time because the sound of the wind across the desert was messing up the volume in my first 5 videos. I will make this video number 6 in my series Apocalypse Desert. I've stopped next to the oldest Joshua tree I ever saw. It's really tall. And I wanted to show you more of the desert, and then I want to maybe fill in some things I didn't say properly because of the wind. So this is the desert in a prettier view. We've got a lot of electrical going through here and snow-covered mountains in the distance. Lots of Joshua trees and the moon in the sky. And the wind is blowing. You might lose the volume. Got to stay out of the wind. And this is a long dirt road, and look at those beautiful mountains in the distance. I think the wind is okay right here. So, an old farm actually. I'm by a really old California farmland that is for sale. Beautiful to build a house here. So, back to my story. I gave Jose my books to read. Fire and Ice tells how I was an abused wife and I went to New Zealand with my 2 children to try and get away and start a new life. But New Zealand has an extradition policy with America, and my court cases and appeal were lost. I had no money for a good lawyer, and my ex-husband had a lot of money. So we came back to California in 2006, and 2007 was a bad year for me. 2008, started looking up a little. I got off all the bad medication doctors gave me as a cancer survivor who had a rare form of non-Hodgkin's lymphoma and who had a 50-50 chance to live. That's what my diagnosis was when I was a young mother. You have a baby, you have a 3-year-old daughter and a baby son, and you have a 50-50 chance to live with the type of cancer you've got. So whoever thinks my cancer was no big deal, I'd like you to try a 50-50 chance to live or die because of cancer. I had surgery and 4 months of strong chemotherapy. I lost all my hair, even my eyebrows and my eyelashes. I was pale as a ghost. I am part Jewish, and I looked like I had been in Auschwitz, pale and thin, my skin almost translucent. They put chemicals in me as bright orange as a color I have ever seen, and the nurses had to completely clothe themselves with protection, face mask, eye mask, gloves, bodysuit, and this medicine was going into my veins. So I had nerve damage, and that's why the doctors gave me pain medicine, which led to morphine. And I had a car accident on the mountains, nearly died, got off all the medication, tried to build my life again. I saw my children finally after 3 years that my ex-husband would not let me visit, even though the court had ordered it. I created a new relationship with Jessica and Jonathan, my 2 youngest children. And then I looked for a job in 2009 and 10 and couldn't find one teaching in America under President Obama. So I went overseas to Russia for a very long winter, 6 months, in 2010 to 2011. And then I went in April of 2011, just after my birthday, to Turkey, where I spent 2.5 years and taught English and saw beautiful places and wrote 2 books. One is called Walk With Me in Turkey. The other is I Protested for Freedom with Turks. You might like to get them. They're only as Kindle ebooks. They're not in paperback because they have a lot of color photos and interviews and links. So I ended up back in California after 5 years overseas. It was very hard. I sometimes, I got a car. I went to Houston in my nice van, my Mazda 5 minivan, and got in an accident and almost died. I couldn't work for a year. I bought a new car in Texas, a Chevy, the white Chevy you saw in my video. Thank God I was able to have a car. But I ended up sleeping in my car for 1.5 years, homeless in California, looking for a job, until I got my job in the prison. And well, you know how that turned out. But it makes an interesting story. So my first Selah book was about a desert slave girl named Selah who lived in the desert in a prison. And some brave, mysterious person named Micah led her out of the prison one night when her whole life changed. Because you can be walking down the same road or the same hallway you have tread for years, and then suddenly you go around a corner and everything changes. So Selah's life changed in one day, and she went to the top of the mountains where the snow is, and she found love and freedom. So Selah 2 that I am writing will be called Selah of the Desert. It is set in the prison I just showed you photos of. Pardon the bad soundtracks. I don't have professional equipment. I'm using my iPhone to do this. So I am writing Selah of the Desert, and it will be about another Selah 1,000 years later who works in a prison, who falls in love with a prisoner, and how they get together and where they travel and what adventures they face must still be written. I hope you've enjoyed my little video series. The desert can be beautiful. We had a lot of rain, record-breaking rain, so that California no longer has a drought. And the desert looks green with grass. I've never seen it like this before. It's beautiful. But it can be deadly. So hot in the summer. No water. What is your desert? Where do you wander? Where have you found a lack of hope? Maybe my book, Selah of the Summit and Selah of the Desert, will give you hope. And maybe my true story about Jose, the prisoner who loved me and whom I love, will inspire you that love can be found, can be discovered, can come suddenly and unexpectedly to you in the most unlikely place, between the bars of a prison, in a desert, along a long and dusty road. So when you're traveling that road, take heart. There can be beauty around you, like a Joshua tree, or some purple flowers on the ground, or the distant snow-covered mountains. So with that in thought, I will sign off. Thank you for listening. Sorry for the bad soundtrack. I hope I caught you up on all the things I tried to say when the wind was blowing. This is Lana Lisa Williams signing off. God bless you.